I wanted to make the house on the exterior and on the interior too, but that initial drive-by of it to look like it was an older home built in 1900 that was redone, updated. This location is a corner lot, so you get the views of Lake of the Lilies all around, but it's an oversized lot too. So we were able to play with the design a little bit more and add that wraparound porch to the other side of the yard, just to maximize the angles, the views, the placement of the house.
You know, we typically use Anderson windows, you know, and specifically A-series windows. And they're, you know, great finish, unbelievable customer support. And they're a proven product. They've been around for years.
So the tiles in the kitchen are saltillo tile. Sometimes people say terracotta, but I think technically that's Italy. But these are Mexican tiles. Clay, made in the sun. And that was my first, like, I knew that I wanted to do the saltillo tile in the kitchen. And my inspiration for that was actually my mom's kitchen. And she's had the tile in there for, I don't know, 20, 25 years. And funny enough, just going into tile shops and tile stores, some tile designers are like, really, that's kind of dated. I'm like, no, you don't get it. I'm getting it. And you really can't get it anywhere around here. So I had to order it through a company out of Texas, and then it comes directly from Mexico. And one of the stories with it is, since it does bake out in the sun, dogs kind of run around and maybe take a nap. And legend has it, if you get a tile that has a dog footprint, it's good luck. And we got one. So it's pretty cool. But that was a huge part of one of the first things that I purchased. I ordered it and we had it sitting, waiting to be installed for months and months and months, but I knew that I wanted to use it. And then tied it in other areas in the house, around the fireplace, and that was actually by accident. That was not originally what I planned. I planned to just do the cement tile all the way, and just dimension-wise, it didn't work. And I said, oh my gosh, we're gonna use the leftover tile that we had from the kitchen, and we're gonna do a border and then the pencil tile on the side, and it's one of my favorite things in the house.
It's with the location, you know, being in the south end of Point Pleasant Beach, you're in an area where you're, you know, very close to the beach, very attractive for second home buyers, as well as year-round residents. It has a nice blend in that community. It's in the south end of town. It's a little bit beyond all the amusements, but still striking distance to it. You know, you have great beach options there. You have amazing, you know, bird watching, these migratory birds coming from, you know, coming down in the winter and up in the summer. It's like a world-class spot to see birds and wildlife. I think that's really unique and cool, and so the location's amazing.
Oh, favorite thing of any of the bathrooms. I probably have a favorite thing in each bathroom, but the master bathroom, I knew that I wanted to incorporate a clawfoot tub. And I found a company that takes clawfoot tubs, new clawfoot tubs, but customizes the paint on it, and it just came out outrageous. It kind of looks like a Monet painting.
You look at, you know, this house, 400 Newark, the siding's spectacular, it's spot on. You know, the board and batten, the batten strips are well thought out, you know, to coincide with the dimension of particular areas of the home. It's, you know, they take the time to make it look right. The kitchens, you know, we use a contractor out in Honeybrook, Pennsylvania, custom woodworking, and you know, every aspect. You know, my wife Lisa, you know, designed this kitchen along with you know, our main rep there, and you know, it's spectacular. The hand pulls, custom brass hand pulls. The island is it's a brushed oak, you know, steel, wire wheeled, you know, brushed oak. You know, the quartzite countertops. It's absolutely spectacular. The cabinets have, you know, caning in them on the doors, so it's one of a kind.
So what's unique about the house is the design itself. You know, it's very classic, and you know, a lot of people like that feel of a, you know, more historic home, but want more of the modern amenities, as well as you know, a home that's going to last, and that's really hard to find. So they were conscious of building a home that really fit that, with a big wraparound porch, and you know, and all the materials that, you know, a lot of natural materials, the Ipe deck and stairs, and you know, and yet the James Hardy siding that, you know, you don't have to, is going to last you for decades upon decades, untouched, and so I really appreciate the way that they put together the design and the exterior finishes, to boot.
Yeah, the lighting, I'm really happy with the end result. For me in particular, I think lighting is one of the harder things to nail down and make it cohesive throughout the house. Even though it's not necessarily a huge open floor plan in here, it still has that open flow. So having the lighting match, but not matchy, not a set, is kind of difficult, but I mainly start with the pendants in the kitchen, and then how will that flow into the dining that's off of that, and then where the feel that I get from that goes into the other areas. I tie it all together, but there's no two lights that are the same.
You know, I think over the years, it just comes down to finding those guys. You know, the guys that are going to be reliable. You know, show up when they say they're going to show up, and get the job done when they say they're going to get it done in that time frame. You know, and you can sit there and, you know, keep an eye on things, and you can see who's putting, you know, taking the extra time to put you know, their heart and soul into their job and take pride in their job, again, compared to, you know, just throwing some stuff up on the wall and moving on to the next job. So it's very important, you know, to have those individuals involved to make sure that you do have a, you know, bulletproof, you know, final product.
Dean and Lisa's home here at Swan Point is very unique to anything else that's been offered out there. You know, you see a lot of new construction that have been built over the last few years. A lot of similarities between all of them, separating themselves from, you know, Dean and Lisa's house, separating from that in the quality of the materials that they put in, and just the thoughtful design. I think that a lot of builders are out there, it's, you know, to make money and to make a profit, as they should be, and that makes sense. But there's not necessarily a passion to produce, you know, kind of like an artist. You know, I look at it as, you know, they're putting a product out there where they're really, Dean and Lisa, thinking about every fine detail. And I don't think that same thought and care goes into it. And most builders are not going to spend the money where a client can't noticeably see it. You know, whether that's the grade beam construction, the insulation, the things that are behind the walls. A lot of people that you wouldn't know if you're the buyer. So that's what sets them apart from the competition of other homes that are out there.
So this house sits right next to Lake of the Lilies, and there are, I don't even know how many different types of birds that are in the pond, lake, sorry. But one in particular that stands out are the swans. And when we moved in, or even just walked by, because there's a lot of people that walk by and it's a great walking area, we have counted up to 56 swans out there at one time. So it's pretty cool to see. So with that being said, this kind of took a little spin on the older homes usually having a name to their house. So we are rolling with Swan Point for 400 Newark, because it's evident once you look out the front door, in the kitchen, you'll see swans and birds, and it's a pretty cool spot.
I appreciate that there's a story behind every detail and decision that she makes. She was walking me through the second floor bathroom, and there's this teak and holly inlaid countertop on the vanity, and she was pointing out that she was looking for the perfect faucet to match that. And in this endless search, she came upon this one with the holly has these inlay stripes, and she found this faucet that has these little subtle stripes that run down the neck of the faucet. And one in a million people will likely notice that detail, and that's not what matters. What matters is that, to her, is that everything is thought through. And I just know, going through that process, it's a hard thing to make all these decisions, and she does such an amazing job of pulling that together and really putting that kind of care into every thought.
So when I had the idea of doing clawfoot tub in the master bathroom, we have windows that are lake facing. So I knew that the placement of the tub, I wanted to shift it a little bit further down, not centered on the window, knowing that your view outside the window, if you're in the tub, is going to be spot on. And then it also kind of adds a little bit of, not everything needs to be symmetrical. So just the balance of shifting the tub over a little bit and giving a little bit more room by the vanities and the sink, it just works. It really comes together. The hall bathroom would be a shared bathroom with the boys. We went with, which is so cool, so another like kind of coastal, nautical, beachy inspired, travel inspired, is the teak and holly countertop. So it looks like an old Italian raceboat deck. Sydney's bath, the girls' bathroom, I wanted to keep it, again, timeless like the rest of the house, but have that, I didn't want to keep it at a certain age. So it would grow, if it's a child's room, bathroom off the bedroom, I didn't want it to be too young, too old. So it's kind of an all-around bathroom, but with really, really cool detail with the milk glass knobs and the color of like a sky blue but gray vanity itself. The lighting in there, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool bathroom. And then the first floor bathroom, just tying in those elements of the natural stone with the saltillo. Then I thought, some sort of cement tile on the floor, and the quartzite in the shower floor, and the gold. It just all comes together. It all works. Yeah, so living on Lake of the Lilies in this area, part of town, you have so many options for going to the beach. There's Bradshaw, walking distance or biking distance. We would put the cart on the back of the bike and get all the kids up there. And And then there's these special little entrances for more of a private setting, so you're not in the heart of the boardwalk summer season, but you have this really special, quiet, secret beach access to enjoy. It's a personal. It feels like a private. It feels like it's your own.
Quality construction is so important, and Dean is relentless in making sure that when there's a choice to be made, that as far as the quality or the construction design, that he's always going to choose the best or the better of any options out there. Most spec builders really will choose to put their money into what's the most marketable and really the most noticeable. And Dean's looking to build a home to last for centuries, and a lot of what goes into their homes are things that you don't see, and where they spent much more on better materials to produce a more solid home. Whether that's the spray foam insulation that goes into the house that nobody ever sees, but it's 3 to 4 times the cost of insulation that most builders will put in a spec home, or the A-series Anderson windows, which is where most will put in a 200 or 400 series. The most consumers or buyers will never notice the difference between the two. 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000 might be able to notice the difference, but the integrity of the window it's just a better and stronger window, and it does have some clean lines in it that makes it that those very few people will pick up on, if you notice. So I really appreciate that that regardless of cost, he's looking to put in the best of the best.
I have always loved the gas lanterns, just aesthetically, historically. I just always thought they were really cool. One house, I use this company, Bevelo. They're based out of New Orleans, all custom crafted, handmade. But the house that I had them made for and installed, I only had the electric components, but they still look beautiful. So with this house, knowing that I could add that gas line and really get a gas lantern, I was so excited. It's just the whole process of picking out the size of the lantern and communicating with them, and they're based out of New Orleans, and it brings that history feel to this house, which is what I wanted to kind of recreate anyway. And it just perfect.